So it was my birthday the other day, so I decided to buy a Porsche. We were shopping for some cars, and I really wanted a convertible and have wanted one for a while. This came out on the market, and it was a pretty good deal. So I now have another car to play with and show you videos on. So today we're actually going to start with something pretty small. The stock radios in these, this is an older one. This is a 2001, and back then, you had the option between a CD changer or a tape deck, and this has a tape deck. So we have a few options as to how we can play some modern music on it. And one way is an aux cable that you can actually plug right into the rear of the radio. So that's what we're going to start with. There's a few other things that need to get done on this vehicle, and of course, I'm going to do videos on all of them to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, when you are working with electronics in your car and disconnecting things and reconnecting them, make sure that you take the negative battery terminal off. So this is just a regular 10 millimeter, and just take the connector off the post, push it down to the side, make sure it doesn't actually touch this post, and you should be safe to work on your electronics. Actually taking out the radio is a pretty straightforward job. However, if you have a stock Porsche radio, you're actually going to need some special tools. And the special tools are here. They're just little keys, effectively. They are just need to be slid into the face of the radio to basically release the lock that's holding it in place to be able to pull the radio out. So your keys, you want to set them like this here. So the little swoops are pointing to the inside of the radio, and there's a little slot in the bottom left hand corner of each side of the radio. So want to push them in. You'll kind of hear them click. You'll hear a bit of a metallic click. That means you have them seated correctly. All right, so that one's in as well. And then you just use them to pull the radio out. All right. Now it's probably pretty tough if it hasn't been taken out before, and these little tiny metal rings really kind of hurt your fingers. So get it out far enough that you can get your fingers on the radio itself, and just kind of wiggle it out. Let me see if I can get something here for my fingers. There we go. Perfect. And then once the radio's out, you just have three little connectors. So these connectors, you just push the pin in, right? And they just pop right out. It's very, very easy. And then this is just your antenna. Same thing. Pop it out, and you're good to go. Now, once the radio's out, you're going to want these pins out. And how you get those out is you just have this blue piece here. This is actually the lock that holds the radio in place. Just push that in with your finger, and your little key will pop right out. So again, on this side, push it in, and your little key pops out. These can be used, well, if you don't lose them, can be used as many times until you break them effectively. They're pretty thin, and it's already showing wear here. I actually did it twice. I did a little practice run, and this time here on video. So it's already a little damaged, but whatever, it's no big deal. So the part that we're looking to install is right here. Now, I also ordered this online, and this is also proprietary to Porsche. So if you want to put in an aux cable, it's not just a simple, female version of this aux plug. It's actually a proprietary clip right here. Looks like this. Now, this is the cable that would normally be put into where the CD changer would go, but this is just effectively an aux cable. Now, for me, I'm just going to run it down and into the footwell of the passenger side. Now, the reason I'm doing that is that eventually I want to put a female aux cable, basically the female portion of this, so you can just plug anything you want into it, inside of the armrest in between the two seats. So basically, this is effectively going to be a temporary measure for me. So at this point, however, if you want to put it somewhere else in the vehicle, you have about, what is that, 3.5 to 4 feet to deal with. So get it where you want it, and then we're going to plug it into the radio and just push the radio back in. It's really that easy. Okay, so I have this out here, just kind of in the footwell. You can run it up a little bit of ways here underneath some panels. You can kind of see, you can just kind of sort of freehand this, do what you want to do with it. I'm going to have it where my phone can sit right in this little pocket here, but enough away that it's not going to be, you're not going to be stepping on it or anything like that. So that's done. Okay, so I'm going to come back around. And now that we're done, all we have to do is plug everything back in and shove the radio back in. So here's our new cable. And the new cable is going to sit, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so on the back of the radio goes in like this here. The back of the radio, we're going to plug it in right here, the upper right hand corner of the back of the radio. So plug that in. I'm going to actually plug my other ones in first. Probably just makes it a little easier for me here. There's 1, 2. Plug in my antenna. Can't live without that FM. There we go. And this guy plugs in right here. Awesome. So now that it's in, so upper corner, everything else is back in place. You don't need to use the keys to put it back in. You can, if you think that these little pins here are going to scrape this front panel, you're more than welcome to do that. The only problem is I don't know how you're going to get them out. So something to consider before trying that. So we are going to just slide it back into place here. Okay. Awesome. So you'll hear a really positive click. You don't have to really worry about, guesswork. You'll certainly hear it pop into place. Now I'm going to go throw in my battery, reconnect it, and then we'll test it out. Okay, so we have the radio back in, the battery's plugged back in, and now we have, I have something playing in the aux cable just to show you this here. So go ahead and turn your key in the on position. All right, now your radio is gonna think that it's stolen. So when you turn it on, you're probably gonna get a code request that you have to put in a 4-digit code. Now, I'll put it at the beginning of this video, but we definitely do not want to even start this project unless you know the 4-digit code to the radio. It could render the radio completely useless if you don't actually, if you don't have that code. I'm not sure how easy it is to reset, if you have to bring it to a dealership, whatever it may be. You really want to make sure that you're not screwing yourself over, you're not killing your radio. Okay, so it's asking for the code, and so we're going to put ours in, and now it says, okay, you're good to go. You've basically unlocked it. Now, to actually get to it, you have a source button, that's your little S. So if you go to aux, there it is. So now, this is actually my phone playing through the actual stock radio. So, good stuff. It's a really nice way to add some, modern functionality to your existing Porsche radio. You can actually keep the sleek look of the original radio. You don't have to, change the look, put in some aftermarket with a bunch of different colors or whatever it is, but still be able to listen to, some music that isn't on a cassette. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and comments, questions, and suggestions in the comments below.